Hey, first of all, sorry for the acne. It's mid of spring now, which means that plants are giving me a great deal of difficulty and will be until they wither and die, which normally happens at about autumn, so haha for the warmer side of the year. But it also means that my health just starts doing really, really poorly because all my allergies kick in, and that includes my skin. I tried disguising it in some video, potentially a future video, depending on which way I'm uploading these, and that made it look like my forehead was partly rotting. So if my forehead looks a bit gray in one of the videos, you now know why. Secondly, it feels like Infinity Nikki is kind of doing good and not good at the same time, and it's very, very hard to explain. So let me try it this way. We're currently in patch 2.4. It's overly kind of a well-perceived patch, and it feels like more people are getting more positive over time, but I can't help but think that the reason why that's happening is because we have shrunk to a stable population. I don't think that this is where Infold wants to be in general, and I'm basing that assumption on the fact that it feels like the investment towards Infinity Nikki is going slightly down. Like, the whole behemoth thing, the whole unicorn, they're using their assets, which is okay, but these are paid banners. They had that trouble with Chinese players saying that the top-up outfit is not really fancy enough. There's potential AI art in the game. AI translation has been a thing for a while now. It feels like they don't want to invest as much money as they have been investing at the start of the game. And it kind of feels like the population has sort of stabilized at potentially not a great number for the company. Like, don't get me wrong, we're still doing super good. This is Sensor Tower monthly gacha revenue report for February 2026. March numbers will be out by the time that I'm uploading this, but I couldn't get my hands on it at the time of me recording this. We're at a 9 million revenue for February, and February has been 2.2, so it's a major patch. If we go backwards, this is December 2025. This is when Itzaland released, and we're once again at $9 million, at about there, for a major patch. Like, it's very, very stable and even now. If we go further back, though, this is not zooming in any closer than this, which is slightly a problem. When Infinity Nikki has recently released, this is January 2025, it raked 22 million on just phone revenue. You can see how the revenue kind of halved. So now our good patch is pulling in half the revenue that just like the starter patches did, which I suppose can be expected, but the huge drop off can really got triggered by about 1.5, and I don't think that Infold got as many players back as they wanted with Itzaland, because that was the big 2.0 update. So this is my list of things that I think Infinity Nikki needs desperately in order to climb those money-making rankings and perform better than they're currently performing. The first thing that Infinity Nikki desperately needs is optimization. I have beautiful clothes. like, this is one of the veils that I own, as an example. I don't wear them because they tank my frame rate. This is a dress-up game. Being able to use your banners is quite a significant part of what you would expect of a dress-up game. It's just running worse and worse every single update. It especially degraded at 2.0 and it's continuing to degrade. And the second bit is bloat. This game is what, 100 gigs in size by this point. Mobile players can't really handle it just about at all anymore, which would probably make sense why the sensor tower data is reporting lower and lower income through mobiles over time. Consoles are also having issues currently. For example, the textures for the mermaid bathroom set for especially windows on the walls, it's being reported that it's an incredibly low texture on things like consoles, so it's like a 280p texture instead of actually being HD. On PC, even big rigs are struggling with it. Streamers are struggling to play and stream this game. You have to constantly be dropping the settings lower as the time progresses. You have to think about what you're wearing to your streams. Preview videos on people doing YouTube for like the new banner and like the new outfit showcase. A lot of them started to lag. And that's your most like front-facing player in the game. Look, optimize your game, and if you need to lose a couple of areas, hint hint, in order to do that, I don't think that the player base will mind. I think that the tragedy of your game size matters a lot more about than the behemoth racing game, which I have not revisited ever since the game stopped offering me rewards for doing so, because this was not a very pleasant or well-made experience. Secondly, I am blaming the purple-pink woman for this, but what we really need is an all-encompassing, coherent story. If you started playing in 1.0, you had a beginning that made sense, aka Nikki gets kidnapped by a dress through a closet in her house. She goes to Mirrorland. She needs to collect miracle outfits in order to effectively save Mirrorland and presumably eventually go home. She was invited there to be effectively the savior of the story. She finds a small/big local mystery. She makes a miracle outfit while untangling it. It solves the day. The story is over. New chapters get teased. AKA, you get a bit of history about what other places are there outside of where you are, and they all seem to be very thematically specific. What followed was quite a bit of filler. Then what followed was a replacement of tutorial with the pink lady, and then they replaced the second miracle outfit that was kind of like a grindy thing that you could grind out. They replaced where it would have normally been in the story, because it's still referenced, with the banner outfit at the time. Then what we got was a lot of filler. Then Itzeland is not really any place that was teased. Well, sorta. We kinda got Terra Alliance teased, but Itzeland is kinda like the wild region in between. important places, so it's not like an important place by itself. It has a lot of mushrooms instead of people in it. The unlocking of the miracle outfit is no longer really tied to the story beats. You don't really need to craft the miracle outfit in order to save the story, save the day, because if you don't craft it, then the game still gives you the cutscene. It honestly feels like in the getting from A to B, it forgot what it was, forgot what it's doing, and forgot why it's getting there. And everything about that, what I just stated, I'm moving my keyboard away because my cat is trying to lie down directly on it. Everything of that kind of started with this pink asshole over here. So I'm gonna lay the blame on her. What we desperately need now is... please restore a coherent tutorial. You can shove this one out of the way after the Wishfield chapter if you want to, but you can place it in between Wishfield and Itzaland. Where it is currently does not make sense and likely does not help with new player retention. Secondly, Wishfield and Itzaland stories feel kind of disconnected. Itzaland feels like not what it was promised to be. It doesn't really feel like it's its own unique thing. It feels like kind of the space in between with mushroom people, and it feels like it was lacking a lot of thematic cohesion as we're getting through the patch cycles attributed to it. I feel like the urgency of we need to get these miracle outfits in order to save the whole of Mirrorland and then leave back to our regular human everyday life was completely forgotten. I feel like if you're a new player, you're not even gonna feel that story beat to begin with. And I also feel like a lot of miracle outfits were kind of given to us in a way that reduces their relevancy. The only one that was really relevant, to me at least, was Wishful Orosa. Let's go into the crafting menu and just click through. Silvergale's area could have been like properly important, but we were granted the ability to make this during 1.1 in order to balance out our magic heart, I suppose. It was supposed to be a very grindy outfit. I don't think that they were confident that people were gonna have it by 1.5, or they didn't want to make it mandatory, but it wasn't even dealt with the way that Itzaland's miracle outfit was dealt with. It was just completely thrown out in favor of using one of the 5-star banner outfits at a time, which they just done Silvergale Aria so incredibly dirty. Then we have Sea of Stars, and this is a very old Nikki dress, aka it's a staple through multiple games, and it used to be super important. And this one was done dirty too, because it practically has no story and it's tied to dailies in the Sea of Stars. It's miracle outfit that we have just because. It serves absolutely no purpose. And then, of course, we have Providence Immemorial inside Itzaland, which feels like could have been relevant to the story, but the same kind of story beats that we had for Wishful Rosa were removed, probably because people didn't want it to be too grindy to finish the story. But as such, it kind of got devalued. No longer is Nikki going, oh, this event super inspired me to think about the miracle outfits, and I have unlocked a new piece of the miracle outfit. And no longer does she get to the end, and it's very important to like do your fashion battles and get all the right materials, and at the end you get this like spectacular thing. It just kind of feels like your run-of-the-mill 5-star dress, because they removed any attachment that I could have felt to it through the story beats, by making its impact in the story a lot less, and by making me not really have to craft it or think about it in order to finish the story. I think that this disconnect is doing a lot of disservice for the game and for what the game was and what the game could be. I think the game really needs to go back to its roots and reestablish a large overarching story that keeps in people's memory and keeps them going and is referenced chapter to chapter. Like, we are collecting these miracle outfits to save Miraland to hopefully go home. I'm in the Titan's graveyard because this place currently kind of feels wasted storyline. We had the 2.4 story in here, but it doesn't quite feel like well-utilized space, if you know what I mean, and I feel like that's perfect for this exact point that I'm making. Point number 3, what Infinity Nikki really needs is real stakes. What I'm trying to say is that you entered Wishfield as like this extremely talented stylist that has already gotten a like heart of infinity entrusted to them by a godlike creature, and then in 1.5 you got to find out that actually you are a god, and that while you failed multiple times, effectively you have infinite amount of timelines to try in again and again and again. There's a whole conglomeration of you just like hanging out in Sea of Stars, which is what that pink lady is. You go into Danking Island and you find out that the person that created that world literally managed to like connect themselves to the egregore of Nikki. And they're like a demigod, because they managed to create a world, so that's already super impressive. You wake up in 2.0 and you're being called a saintess and like a huge religious figure. There isn't anywhere where Nikki doesn't go where her ass isn't literally licked by other people. She doesn't really need to earn anyone's trust, it's just given to her on a platter, no matter where she goes. She's great, she's fantastic, she can do absolutely everything from the very get-go. There's not even a smidge of feeling that you might fail, nor is there an idea that you might ever need to rely on other people. You are an all-powerful god that has graced this land. What that means is that no matter what the story throws at you, the stakes are absolutely moot. There is no stakes. Nikki is great. She's of course gonna solve the situation. We need something that would, at least for a second, at least for a small amount of time, would throw off my feeling of complete omnipotence in this game. Would make me rely on anyone else, for that matter. Just like, give me a permanent travel companion that's not only like Momo, but like throw some other humans into the mix. Throw other stylists into the mix. Put stakes high enough that Nikki actually has to go to other people and amass a larger group of stylists to tackle the issue. Allow her to do things in a group and not as like the main person that solves absolutely everything. Put Nikki in situations that Nikki can't actually come out of on her own, where somebody else carries the story for a while, where somebody else can step into the Nikki shoes and keep the story going. Give me times where I can feel actual despair. Give me... It doesn't need to be long. It can be 10 minutes. But give me a sense of a feeling that we might actually fail. That something might not work out. That there is some sort of stake here. That we're not just this omnipresent God being that will make everything okay. Give us a chance to not be okay. Give us a chance to not be perfect. Give us a story beat in which we genuinely are possibly going to fail. Even if we don't at the end. Make me believe that Nikki dying is a possibility, that Nikki not resolving the situation is a possibility, that Nikki falling from her status is a possibility. You don't need to actually follow through with those. Just give me an inkling that any of that is a possibility, that there is actually some sort of danger and some sort of stake. Because otherwise, when the story is Nikki permanently saves the day, and she is completely perfect and nothing bad can happen because Nikki will step in and she will make the situation okay, you become very uninvested in the story over time. Because you already know how it's gonna end. And there's not even an illusion that anything else might happen. You don't get even a sense of maybe it's not gonna be a happy ending. You know 100% that it is gonna be a happy ending. And we really need something to shake up that formula, even if just a little bit. It doesn't even have to be a big thing. Nikki can just not succeed in a small thing, and then people around her can start questioning her title as this infallible, perfect being. She could have her own personal internal journey as to how she processes this turn of events. And the next chapter we can fix it and make it okay, but it takes us down a peg, it makes us more vulnerable, it makes us more realistic, easier to relate to, and it gives her some sort of a character journey, which she should have. So just like an overarching story, please give me some real stakes. I can't be bothered looking up if Giovanni is actually anywhere on the map or if he disappeared past 1.11, but pretend that the people in the graveyard are a Giovanni. Or just 3 versions of Giovanni for this point. Number 4, we need a people-pleasing move. 1.5 cost a lot of good trust, and obviously 2.0 release, I don't think, lived up to the expectations or wishes of Infold. So what Nikki desperately needs is not just a very strong story, not just telling people that there is this big story move that's incoming that might get people to come back. You need a people pleaser. There are a couple of people pleasers that I can think of off the top of my head. First one would be Threads of Reunion. If you make the next miracle dress Threads of Reunion, the dress from the now scrap tutorial, this would be a people pleaser move. You could use this as an advertisement of, we have this wonderful story beat, it will blow your mind, it will be something really unusual, and you get Threads of Reunion as the miracle outfit that you build going through the story. That would be a huge people pleaser move. Second people pleaser move, this has been asked for a very long time now, is allow us to have guest NPCs in our house. People are really upset that the characters from the stories that we play through kinda just get discarded. AKA, most of the time, not only are they not engaged with again, after the story ends.
The night is always so quiet and gentle.
Some of them are not even on the map anymore. Genshin Impact allows you to position your group members inside your house. There is a cap as to how many of them you can have. You can chat with them and ask them about their day. There is obviously a limited amount of responses that they're gonna have. You grow your attachment to them, which is like hearts or like loyalty through that system. What I'm saying is we have this huge house to ourselves and nothing really to do in it, and it's kind of pointless, and people really wanted to see those old NPCs, and one of the features that was highly requested is us being able to invite NPCs as guests. Allow me to place like 3 of them around my land, like wherever I please, the way that you can place your companions in Genshin. Like, just allow me to have like 3 major NPCs over at a time, and let me just like plop them down in specific environments, and I can like pretend that Dada from the Stylists Guild is no longer tied to her table and can now actually be in my living room, or that, I don't know, Giovanni is traversing through my homemade forest, or whatever kind of situations that you wanna put these NPCs in. The most you're gonna do with them is like take pictures or, I don't know, talk with them on the daily to get like 1 of 3 repeated lines pretty much. It's not like it's a super big ask, but I think it would be a people-pleasing move. It would be something that the community would be like, "Oh, you finally heard us! We wanted this for like so long!" You want to drop a big update, and 2.5 is supposed to be a big update. If you want to recapture the population, you want to drop a people-pleasing move. So pick whichever people-pleasing move that you want and just drop it. You could, of course, go really extremely. You could be extreme in your generosity and go, remember the full year in Wishfield? Anyone that doesn't have 100% completion for their dresses can claim 1 singular 5-star banner entirely for free. Like, this is just like a freebie. Just like come back to the game now and like claim 1 singular 5-star banner completely for free. Oh, you have everything collected? You're one of the people that actually is very supportive of our company and paid a lot of money, and you have everything collected? Well, here's 200 free polls, or like 400 free polls to like refund you on that 1 free outfit that everyone else is getting. But I know how gachas work. I know that that's not gonna happen. Like, nobody's like that generous. But Threads of Reunion as a miracle outfit, being able to invite NPCs to our houses, I think that these are very much like people-pleasing moves that are feasible and possible and should probably happen if Infold wants to increase their amount of people playing the game. 5th point. Combine this one with the previous ones. AKA, give us an update that optimizes the game. We can wait. You can make the updates roll out slower. You can skip a couple of filler patches. I know that this will drop your revenue, but I think if you can optimize your game, this will help you in the long run. Combine this with a story beat that has real stakes and that progresses the main story and perhaps like restore the tutorial. Combine this with a people-pleasing move, and then go for more exposure. I am slightly worried that Infinity Nikki company is, once again, I said this at the start, cutting the amount of money that they're investing in Infinity Nikki. you can sort of see it in the game from cutting corners, like reusing models or using AI or things like that. I think another thing that they're not doing is they're not paying journalists to cover their game. I know that old school journalism is something that's looked down upon, but it generates headlines. If you log in into your internet browser, chances are that the first thing that you get is like an open page. This is true on my phone. This is true on Edge. It normally is like either a scroll or just like a layout of just like a news page. It defaults to a news page. And the kind of news pages that for me my browsers default to is like a conglomeration of like multiple things. So like links to all of these things happening. And if you are a gamer and search about games for long enough, then you do start getting quite a few game related articles just like thrown in your face. So even if you don't follow old school journalism does quite a lot of for exposure. Even if you think that old school journalism makes really bad articles and gives nonsensical points, it still does a lot for exposure. IGN, PC Gamer, these sort of publications covered Infinity Nikki at release. They covered new banners dropping, new content releasing up until 1.5. Then they covered the drama, and then the coverage suddenly disappears. If I Google PC Gamer Infinity Nikki, the most relevant articles that I get is pre-release of the game, so August 2024. That's a favorable article. Then like the release of the game, a review at that point, and then 1.5 drama. And if I scroll past this point, it starts giving me non-relevant results like YouTube and Facebook, for example. So this is where the coverage is stuck. And that's not a good place to be stuck. It means that you're not relevant, it means that you're not being seen, and it means that the last that people have heard of you was of the time when you had a big drama, which is just not good. It's completely not good. So take all of those previous points, then take some buckies, insert it directly into some journalists' pockets, and go, please cover our big new update. We're having a big new update. It is great. It has a people-pleasing move. It has a very interesting story. If you have played this game before, you might wanna come back because it's awesome sauce. A lot of good things are happening. And guess what? We have optimized it so now it runs on even more machines. And it runs a lot better. So if your phone stopped being able to play Infinity Nikki, it might be able to again. That's the recipe for success. I believe that that would do so much good. And they also believe that Infold will follow about zero of this advice. There is some speculation, so there's like a 5% chance that maybe we're gonna see Threads of Reunion at 2.5. When I'm recording this, we're not close enough to see previews for 2.5, so I don't know. But I have a lot of certainty in the fact that they're not gonna be doing the rest of this list. And that honestly sucks. It honestly sucks because I think that this game can be better, do better, and perform better as a result. But instead the companies go, how can they cut costs? How can I like deliver less and get more? Because that's how companies work. But it does not a good product make. It does not win people's trusts back. It does not get the players that have left with 1.5 to come back to your game, and it would be great if they did. It would honestly be very great if they did. So this is my list of what I believe Infinity Nikki really needs right now. If you can think of anything else, you can add it into the comment section down below. I'm very confident that nobody from Infold will ever see this video, mainly because I don't think that anyone from Infold actually like screens what content creators make unless it's like reported to them as like a rule violation or something. Like if I was misbehaving terribly and like calling people slurs and things like that, I'm pretty sure somebody will like report me to Infold, and then Infold would like take me aside and go, that's not good for a company, like please don't do that, or like you'll have to leave the program. But I'm pretty sure that outside of those situations, they're not here sitting looking at the English media. So despite the fact that I would love for this advice to go to Infold, I'm pretty sure that it's never gonna get there. So this is just my dream wish list. So feel free to create your own dream wish list in the comment section down below. In the end, we're fans just talking amidst fans. That's all that this video is. Thank you for watching for as long as you did. If you disagree with me on any of those points, like, feel free to do so. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters, and I hope I'm gonna see you again the next time. Toodaloo.